New York faces a significant challenge with homelessness, having the second highest homeless population in the United States. As of 2024, an estimated 227,897 individuals are experiencing homelessness, equating to about 118 homeless people per 10,000 residents. In December 2023, an alarming 92,879 people, including over 33,000 children, were sleeping in the shelter system each night. This represents a significant increase from previous years, underscoring the growing pressure on resources. The state has also established additional shelters to accommodate asylum seekers and recent arrivals, bringing the total number sheltered to roughly 123,000 by the end of 2023. Beyond the confines of emergency shelters, many individuals experience unsheltered homelessness. The number of unsheltered homeless people in New York State varies, but a street count in January 2023 revealed that over 135,000 individuals were sleeping on the streets, in subways, or in other public spaces. The situation is especially dire for children, according to the Coalition for the Homeless. As of December 2023, over 15,399 homeless children were sleeping on the streets or in other public spaces. Advocates for Children of New York reported that over 10,900 students lacked a regular and adequate nighttime residence during the 2022-23 school year, highlighting the plight of unsheltered homeless families. Financial burden in New York. In 2018, New York City allocated an astonishing $5 billion for homeless services, with a substantial portion directed toward shelters. This figure has likely grown as the homeless population continues to rise. By 2022, New York City's expenditure on homelessness soared to over $8 billion, with a significant share dedicated to sheltering homeless individuals. The cost per person varies, depending on family size and shelter type. In 2019, sheltering a family exceeded $97,000 annually, while the cost for single adults was over $51,000. With tens of thousands of individuals utilizing shelters each year, these costs rapidly accumulate. For the fiscal year 2023, the Department of Homeless Services proposed a budget of $6.5 billion, a substantial increase driven by the growing need for shelter. This highlights the immense resources required to house over 123,000 New Yorkers who rely on the shelter system each night. Quantifying the total cost of homelessness in New York for 2024 remains challenging. However, estimates from the Independent Budget Office suggest that New York City alone may need an additional $1.5 billion for homeless services beyond the initial budget. 5 most homeless cities in New York. Homelessness is a pervasive issue across many cities in New York State, with each city facing its unique challenges and contributing factors. In Albany, approximately 10,205 individuals experience homelessness, with 3,494 in shelters and 6,500 unsheltered. However, these figures are likely underestimated, as point-in-time counts often miss those avoiding shelters or not visible during the count. Albany's homelessness issue is compounded by the recent arrival of asylum seekers, further straining the city's already overwhelmed shelter system. In 2023, New York City began relocating migrants to alleviate pressure on its own shelters, with Albany receiving at least 17 busloads of migrants, totaling between 680 to 1,020 individuals. Syracuse has also seen a significant increase in homelessness, with the Housing and Homeless Coalition of Central New York reporting over 12,600 homeless individuals, a 30% rise from the previous year, marking the highest level since 2015. The New York State Comptroller Office highlights that nearly 22% of Syracuse's population lives in poverty, with child poverty rates soaring to 38.6%, well above the national average. Additionally, 38.9% of Syracuse households are cost-burdened, spending more than 30% of their income on housing. This economic strain leaves many residents on the brink of homelessness, with a single financial setback potentially resulting in the loss of stable housing. Rochester's 2023 PIT count identified 14,803 homeless individuals, indicating a troubling increase, particularly among families with children. The Coalition for the Homeless reports that 58% of homeless shelter residents in Rochester are Black, and 31% are Hispanic. Contrary to common stereotypes, families with children constitute a significant portion of the homeless population, with 70% of Rochester's homeless being families. Notably, over a third of these families have at least one working adult, underscoring the high cost of living in the city, which can push even employed families into homelessness. Buffalo's homeless population has also surged, with the latest PID count revealing 17,432 homeless individuals, both sheltered and unsheltered. This significant increase is likely due to economic hardships, migrant influxes, and a lack of affordable housing. Black residents are disproportionately affected, comprising 54.3% of the homeless population, despite representing only 36.5% of the general population. White individuals also make up a substantial portion of the homeless, though their percentage is lower compared to their representation in the general population. New York City faces the most daunting challenge, with an average of 87,879 people sleeping in shelters each night as of November 2023, including 13,399 children. Many others choose to sleep on the streets, subways, or other public spaces due to safety concerns, or shelter overcrowding. A 2022 report estimated around 39,600 unsheltered homeless individuals in the city. The high cost of living exacerbates the problem, with the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment reaching $4,200 per month, far beyond the reach of minimum wage earners. The arrival of migrants adds another layer of complexity, as New York City has a legal obligation to provide shelter to all homeless individuals, including migrants. This right to shelter mandate strains the city's resources, as many migrants arrive with limited means and require time to secure employment and housing. In 2023, news reports documented the arrival of over 357,600 asylum seekers, with more than 87,000 remaining in the city's care. Clearing homeless encampments in New York. In a recent interview with the New York Times, New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced a decisive plan to clear out homeless encampments across the city. He aims to dismantle these encampments within a 2-week period, although he did not specify when the initiative would commence. "We're going to rid the encampments from our streets and place people in healthy living conditions with comprehensive services," Adams told the Times. Last month, Adams also prohibited sleeping or sheltering in the subway system following several attacks in the stations. He clarified that while most homeless individuals are not dangerous, he wants to prevent any potential fears from becoming a reality. "We are not going to live in fear and frustration," he asserted. "We have to dam every river if we are going to address this issue." The city faces a significant challenge, with over 135,000 unsheltered homeless people, according to the most recent annual estimate. The New York Times highlighted a city webpage defining an encampment as any structure used for shelter, including mattresses, tarps, and tents. Unlike the large tent cities on the West Coast, New York does not have massive encampments housing hundreds of people. This move mirrors recent actions in other major cities. In October, Los Angeles banned camping in 54 locations, and last month, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler used emergency powers to prohibit camping on certain roadways. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser also launched a pilot program last summer to clear out homeless camps. To tackle the encampments in New York, Adams plans to conduct a thorough block-by-block analysis to identify these sites. The administration will then implement a strategy to provide services to those in the encampments before dismantling them. "We can't stop an individual from sleeping on the street based on law, and we're not going to violate that law," Adams explained. "But you can't build a miniature house made out of cardboard on the streets. That's inhumane." Mayor Adams' plan represents a significant effort to address homelessness in New York City, focusing on both immediate action and long-term solutions to ensure the well-being of all residents.